Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this is going to be the episode number 3 of the Combat Series. Of course, just like any other of our content, this episode of the Combat Series will be coming out on all 4 of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of episode number 3 for you guys with the Combat Series. I'll be sharing my boxing men's pound for pound list. So this is my first list, the second list I should say, that I put together in the calendar year 2023. My first men's pound for pound list in the sport of boxing came out in January. I have an updated list as we proceed, as we have gotten through the first half of boxing in the calendar year 2023. So I'll be going through 10 all the way down to number 1. So at number 10, I have Teofimo Lopez. Currently, Teofimo Lopez is 19-1. He has 13 knockouts to his resume. Yes, let's pump the brakes on Teofimo Lopez. He's still going to be an active boxer. It's just a thing that's going around. His retirement, he will be out of retirement before you know it. I think this retirement route right now that he's trying to state to the public and promote himself with this retirement, it's going to remind me of retirement of a Floyd Mayweather like he did in his early career, 2008, 2009. It's going to remind me of how Tyson Fury stepped away from the ring, then got right back in the ring months later. Teofimo Lopez is not retired, so therefore he is on my pound for pound list. But Teofimo Lopez has victories over the number 1 pound for pound fighter and Vasily Lomachenko back in the calendar year 2020, and he beat the former king of the 140 pound division in Josh Taylor. Both victories, he made both of those guys, Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, look very ordinary, and they were both the best that the divisions had to offer at the time. He made it look like a cakewalk, made him look ordinary, and dominated both respective fighters in those both 2 fights. So Teofimo Lopez is a 2-time division champion. He's a former unified champion at the 135-pound division. He's a former WBC world champion in 140, and is a 2-time Ring Magazine champion. And you only become the Ring Magazine champion by being the best fighter at that particular time and that particular weight class. Like I just said a few moments ago, when he beat Vasily Lomachenko in 2020, he was the best lightweight in the division. Josh Taylor was just a former undisputed champion in the 140-pound division. He beat both of those guys and became a 2-time Ring Magazine champion by doing it. Like I said, I'm not buying his retirement. Teofimo Lopez will be back very soon in the sport of boxing. He's number 10 on my list. At number 9, I have the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin the Dream Haney, at the number 9 spot. Currently, Devin Haney is the king of the lightweight division. He's currently the WBO, WBC, IBF, and WBA world champion in the lightweight division. He's currently 30-0 with 15 knockouts to his has 15 knockouts to his resume. He's putting together a pretty good run as the undisputed champion in the lightweight division thus far. He's the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era in the sport of boxing. And look, right now, I think this run is going pretty good. He has 2 wins over George Kambosos. The first win that he got over George Kambosos was to become the undisputed champion at the lightweight division. Traveled back to Australia months later and beat George Kambosos back-to-back times in his backyard of Melbourne, Australia. Then just a month ago, he was able to defeat this guy who will be a future Hall of Famer one day in the sport of boxing, Vasily Lomachenko. So he is putting together a good resume in his lightweight championship run thus far. He is at number 9 for me. At number 8, I had the unified champion at the lightweight division, the light heavyweight division, is Artur Beterbiyev. He's currently the unified champion at the 175-pound division. He holds the WBO, WBC, and IBF world titles at that light heavyweight championship, light heavyweight division. He's currently the best, and right now Artur Beterbiev has the best knockout ratio in all combat sports, boxing and UFC. He has a KO percentage of 19 KOs. When you do the math on that, he's 19-0. So every time he steps in a boxing ring, he knocks his opponents out. That's the best percentage in combat sports today. He's at number 8 for me. At number 7, I have the undisputed champion at the super middleweight division, Canelo Alvarez. I do believe that Canelo Alvarez will go down as one of the greatest boxers in boxing history. He has a record of 59 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws to his resume. He's a 4-time weight division champion, and he's the first ever Mexican undisputed champion in the sport of boxing. The only reason why I have him at 7 and not any higher on my pound for pound list is the 2 losses that he has on his resume. Losing to Floyd Mayweather early in his career and then being dominated by Dmitry Bivol last May. That is the reason why I have Canelo Alvarez number 7 and no higher than that. At number 6, I have the WBA champion at the light heavyweight division in Dmitry Bivol. He's currently 21-0. He has 11 knockouts to his resume. I do believe that Dmitry Bivol is one of the best technical boxers in the sport today. He has one of the best jabs in boxing. I put him in the category for best jabs in the sport with the names of Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. That's how special of a jab I think that Dmitry Bivol has to his arsenal. Last year, it was really his coming out party. The calendar year 2022 is when is when Dmitry Bivol had his coming out party. A lot of people that did not know who Dmitry Bivol was, but he made a lot of fans know his name when he dominated Canelo Alvarez last year and went on to dominate former undefeated champion Gilberto Ramirez later on in the calendar year 2022. He earns a number 6 spot on my pound for pound list. At number 5, I have the unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence is a special fighter. He currently holds 3 out of the 4 championships in the welterweight division. He's currently the WBC champion, the WBA champion, and the IBF champion in the welterweight division, and has earned all 3 of those titles by taking all 3 of those championships from those previous title owners. So he's been the big threat in the welterweight division for a very long time. Errol Spence is 28-0. He has 22 knockouts to his resume. He has been, in my opinion, the best welterweight in the sport of boxing for the last 4 to 5 years. His resume speaks for it. His accolade speaks for it. He's the unified champion at the welterweight division. He has wins over Sean Porter, excuse me. He has a win over Ugas. He has a win over Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia. So Errol Spence has been running the show at the welterweight division, as far as I'm concerned, for the last 4 to 5 years, and is the unified champion, deserves the number 5 spot on my pound for pound list. At number 4, I have the WBC heavyweight champion in Tyson Fury. In my opinion, he's been the best heavyweight champion of this era. The best heavyweight in boxing, I should say, of this era. His skills, his skill level is very up there in the sport of boxing. Someone that is the weight of as big as Tyson Fury should not be moving around the ring the way he does. He has amazing footwork. He has a great boxing IQ and is a great defensive fighter. Like I said, if you're nearly 300 pounds like Tyson Fury is, you should not be moving around the ring the way he does, and he makes it look like easy work every time he's in the ring. He's 30. He has a record of 33 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw to his resume. He has 24 knockouts. It was a part of one of the greatest heavyweight trilogies in the sport of boxing when he fought Deontay Wilder 3 separate times on 3 separate occasions. So Tyson Fury definitely deserves to be on my list. He's number 4. At number 3, I have the unified heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Usyk. Right now, Oleksandr Usyk is 20-0. He has 13 knockouts to his resume and is one of the best overall boxers in the sport today. He holds 3 out of 4 titles in the heavyweight division. He holds the WBO, WBA, and the IBF world titles in the heavyweight division. He's also a former undisputed champion at the cruiserweight division and is a former gold medalist in the 2012 Olympics, beating Artur Beterbiyev in the finals of the 2012 Olympics. So he's very accomplished in the sport, unified champion, former undisputed champion in the sport of boxing. In my opinion, one of the best to do it in the sport today. Oleksandr Usyk is number 3 on my list. At number 2, I have Naoya Inoue. I do believe that he is also one of the best overall boxers in the sport today. Definitely the best overseas boxer in the sport today. A lot of people don't know him because he fights overseas in Japan, but Inoue is one of the best boxers in the world today. He's number 2 on my list. He's currently 23-0, has 20 knockouts to his resume, is one of the best punchers in the world today. He's actually knocked out 16 of his opponents in the first round in his pro boxing career. So he definitely packs a punch. I say he's up there with some dangerous hitters like Gervonta Tank Davis, like Artur Beterbiev. He's absolutely on that list, and in my eyes, is one of the best punchers in the sport of boxing. And Inoue is he's a 3-time weight division champion, and he's a former undisputed champion at the bantamweight division. So he's definitely number 2 on my list, well deserved. And number one, the best fighter, in my opinion, in the world, in the sport of boxing today, is the WBO welterweight champion and Terrance "Bud" Crawford. In my opinion, he has been one of the best boxers in the sport for a very long time, and he deserves to be number one on my pound for pound list. He's currently 39-0. He has 30 knockouts to his resume. He has knocked out every single opponent that he's fought ever since he's made the climb from 140 to the welterweight division. So he's knocked out every opponent that he's knocked out, every opponent that he's faced at the welterweight division. They've all went down in devastating fashion. All have lost via knockout, and hitting the canvas and letting the referee get to the count of 10, or the referee just waving off the fight, because that's how much Terrance "Bud" Crawford packs a punch. And he's a former undisputed champion of the junior welterweight division. Terrance "Bud" Crawford, in my opinion, is the best boxer in the sport today and deserves the number one spot on my pound for pound list. But that is my most recent updated pound for pound boxing list in the sport, and pound for pound boxing list in men's boxing in the sport today.